Scarlett Johansson's first movie was The Man, and this movie flopped. His next movie was Ghost World, and this movie flopped. His next movie was Girl with a Fair Earring, and this movie turned out to be a hit. His next movie was Lost in Translation, and this movie all-time blockbuster. His next movie was The Iceland, and this movie hit. His next movie was Scoop, and this movie super hit. His next movie was The Prestige, and this movie super hit. His next movie was The Black Dahlia, and this movie flopped. His next movie was The Nanny Diaries, and this movie hit. His next movie was Vicky Cristina and Barcelona, and this movie blockbuster. His next movie was The Spirit, and this movie flopped. His next movie was The Other Bowling Girl, and this movie turned out to be a super hit. His next movie was He's Just Not That Into You, and this movie blockbuster. His next movie was Iron Man 2, and this movie blockbuster. His next movie was The Avenger, and this movie all-time blockbuster. His next movie was Hitchcock, and this movie turned out to be a hit. His next movie was Don John, and this movie super hit. His next movie was Her, and this movie turned out to be a hit. His next movie was Under the Skin, and this movie flopped. His next movie was Captain America: The Winter Soldier, and this movie blockbuster. His next movie was Safe, and this movie super hit. His next movie was Lucy, and this movie all-time blockbuster. His next movie was Avenger Age of Ultron, and this movie all-time blockbuster. His next movie was Sing, and this movie blockbuster. His next movie was Hellcatcher, and this movie turned out to be a hit. His next movie was Captain America Civil War, and this movie all-time blockbuster. His next movie was Ghost in the Shell, and this movie turned out to be a hit. His next movie was Rough Night, and this movie turned out to be a hit. His next movie was Avenger Infinity War, and this movie all-time blockbuster. His next movie was Avenger Endgame, and this movie all-time blockbuster. His next movie was Marriage Story, and this movie disaster. His next movie was Jojo Rabbit, and this movie super hit. His next movie was Black Widow, and this movie turned out to be a super hit.